Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of F1 24 Career Mode here on the channel. I hope you're all having a great day. We're looking for a bounce back weekend as we head into one of two Italian Grand Prix this season. We're heading into Imola this weekend as Alex Albon is up 4-0 in our rivalry for the teammate rivalry that is here at the Williams team, and he's really stepped up his game in recent episodes against myself now as we're bringing in some more upgrades into this weekend. One actually failed, but overall we're still sitting pretty well coming into this Imola Italian weekend, as well as we'll take a look at the updated R&D following Max Verstappen's dominance. McLaren has actually jumped up to second statistically in the R&D. We've still made some gains as well, as the bottom few teams are kind of just chilling there at the bottom, really not making huge gains into this weekend. So it'll be interesting to see where we stack up here in Imola. Of course, we've got this long front straightaway. We have seen this Williams really prevail in the straight line this season. You look back in Japan, China, Miami as well. I mean, really the last three Grand Prix, it's really been showcasing itself. So, but like I said, we're looking for a bounce back weekend. We had a really rough Chinese Grand Prix where we got a decent outcome out of it, but wasn't great. And then Miami, of course, another sprint weekend there. Things didn't quite go the way we wanted. We qualified 14th in both the sprint as well as the normal qualifying, and we just didn't quite get the race results there in the sprint. But in the Grand Prix, we ended up actually P11, which was what I would say was pretty decent, but compared to Alex Albon, who really turned things up well up inside the top 10, he is now ahead of us in the standings coming into today's episode now. So we'll see if we can maybe close back in on him, but it's going to take a good qualifying effort. As you guys know, qualifying kind of the utmost importance right now with the way the AI are. I am hearing a patch is on the way for the handling and a little bit of AI stuff very soon, so we'll wait and see what happens there. We end practice, however, and focus in on qualifying here Saturday afternoon. Personally, I was just glad that we were done sprint racing for a little bit now. As soon as I can, I'll be completely transparent. As soon as I can mod out sprints, they will be gone. I just don't understand the appeal of it, and I just can't wrap my head around why it needs to be here. So it will be gone as soon as possible as we roll through into qualifying now for Q1. We get on the racetrack now. About 7 minutes left, just under here in the session. I was waiting for a clear racetrack as I actually have a bit of a moment right off the bat now. So looking for a bit of a recovery chicane here in the second chicane now through the left-hand right-hander as we actually have an issue. Our DRS is no longer going to work, and as I do that, I actually invalidate my lap.
Okay, DRS is offline. We may not have enough time to fix it, so just try to run a lap again.
So that's what we're going to do. We try to run another lap, and we're going to lose several tenths of a second down the front straightaway here just because we don't have DRS. I mean, look at the time lost as we come through the first chicane now, and I just felt like I was really slow, even with not having any DRS needed here. I just felt very off the pace, and you can see it being replicated in the time. I don't know what's going on. I am so slow suddenly.
You forgot to turn your ERS back to hot lap, mate. Bring it to us and we'll cool the car down.
So we're going to come in after making a mistake ourselves there and just cool the car down. We're going to run on the same set of soft compound tires. There's really not a whole lot of wear on them. Tire wear is pretty low here in Imola. So we're going to try again. And unfortunately, though, the DRS as I start my final lap is still offline, and look at the difference. This time I knew the ERS was okay. We're in hot lap, so it's all about just getting around this track as quick as we can, but we lose half a second on the straightaway because we don't have DRS. If we miss Q2 by, of course, anything less than half a second, that's where we lost it, was the DRS straightaway. Now coming through the back half of the circuit through the final chicane, a frustrating few weeks could come through and continue into the start of this weekend. We exit the final turn down the front straightaway. What's it going to be? To the line, no DRS. Now it is enabled, but we cross the line and it's only P17.
Okay, 17th. Sorry, mate. You had the pace, just no DRS.
Sorry, guys. Sorry. We missed Q2 by not even a tenth of a second, so if we had DRS even for maybe 5 seconds, we were going to make it. That's so frustrating, and just a continuous issue suddenly here that we've been facing now. Before the race, actually, a brief conversation over the phone with Sebastian Vettel.
Hey bud, I know that was a frustrating one for you after the last few weeks. That was out of your control. Keep your head down and focus forward.
Yeah, what can you do, right? I mean, DRS just decided not to work there, so it is what it is.
By the way, I heard you talk to that new Trackhouse team. What are your thoughts on them?
I mean, they offered exactly what I'm looking for. I can kind of get out and race more cars in just F1, which is quite appealing. But we'll have to see. I don't think they're going to be, hot off the gates like even a midfield team. So it'll be a little bit difficult there. But I'll have to talk to Williams and see what they say.
Hello there and welcome back to Imola, home circuit of the Scuderia Ferrari. We expect to see a lot of local supporters wearing red today, and they've all turned out for what we're expecting will be a sensational event here at the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. 3.1 miles of track at Imola featuring 19 turns, 9 to the right and 10 to the left. Remember that Imola differs from most other Formula One tracks as it's taken anti-clockwise. Let's hope nobody forgets that today. The exit from turn 18 will probably be the setup for many of today's overtakes, leading as it does into the longest straight on the circuit and its only DRS zone. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position, edging out Sergio Perez, who lines up P2. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Norris, Leclerc, Russell, Hamilton, Fernando Alonso, Albon, Bottas, Joe, Stroll, Sainz, Oscar Piastri, Gasly, Hülkenberg, Ocon, Golden Boy, Magnussen, Ricciardo and Yuki Tsunoda. With preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track. And alongside me in the commentary box today, a man who I always look up to, which is easier said than done, Anthony Davidson. Now, we had great fun watching them win last time out. What a great victory it was. But can they carry that into today's race?
It's the important one, isn't it, Crofty? You've done it once, can you do it again? But, if you start believing in yourself and the confidence starts to build, that inner confidence is what you need. And you can carry that through to future races, including this one, and you set that ball rolling. That's the critical thing that they're looking for here. And I believe if you've got that first race win or a win at any stage, it can start to roll with you in a good way.
Ready to go racing, then we'll be doing mediums to hard compound tires today, hoping for no mechanical issues, which I didn't even realize in the current state of the career mode we could even get those, to be completely honest with you guys, because we know the AI can't. But nonetheless, let's get ready to roll here for the first of 2 Italian Grand Prix this season.
Here we go then, the formation lap gets underway and the excitement here is building as we near ever closer to the start of the race. Which team will come out on top? Who's got their strategies right for today's race? Well, we'll soon find out.
Everybody's starting on the medium compound tire today.
As the cars make their way back to the starting grid to form up and get ready for lights out, let's hope the race ahead today is a thrilling one that will go down as a memorable Grand Prix in the history books.
Gary, it's James. Good luck today. Alex is far up the road, but I think you have great pace to show it today.
Yeah, 10-4. Thank you, James. Let's get after it. So we'll pull our Williams up to one of the unfortunately final grid slots on this circuit now. Is P17, not pretty, but it is what it is. The DRS decided to not work, and hopefully we're not going to have any issue like that here today. Out of 32 laps of racing, here we go. It's going to be lights out. We're racing here from Imola now, and it's not a great start. We get a better launch than Hülkenberg, but we're going to be covered off immediately there, so we've kind of gotten into a gridlock already. Max Verstappen, Sergio Perez, they'll lead the way down into turn 1 first and second. Charles Leclerc, George Russell, they're going at it for 3rd and 4th as well. You got Lando Norris and Lewis Hamilton battling side by side. In the background as well, you got Fernando Alonso and our teammate Alex Albon, who had a great run in Miami. He's looking to continue that into today's episode now. He tries to keep it around the outside of the 2-time world champion. The Spaniards, though, is likely going to get clear. Hold on, no, he's not. Albon has the run. They continue wheel to wheel down towards the left-hander, and Albon clear by half a car length and fully clear. He takes the position from Fernando Alonso. Bottas as well as Zhou Guanyu there. We're going side by side. I myself settle in here now in exactly where I started, actually, P17. Not exactly what we were looking for behind Esteban Ocon there in the Alpine now. now. So 32 laps of racing. Our pit window will basically bring us into the pit lane coming to the end of lap 13, starting lap 14. So yeah, we got a lot of time to make things happen here now at the end of lap 1, and already a little bit of confidence here. I can tell that straight line speed is going to be really beneficial today, and I think we've got enough of it here on this Williams to make some good moves on the front straightaway, and really the front straightaway only. This is kind of the only passing zone we have in Imola outside of if somebody makes a mistake and you can really pounce on them. So it's really about being patient for 80% of the lap. Now, I was actually get a warning for exceeding track limits. Felt that was a little bit harsh there, but nonetheless, it is what it is. Of course, you get 2 of those before you take a penalty on the third one. Out of the final turn, lap 3 coming to lap 4. DRS been enabled for a few laps already, but we have a good run on Esteban Ocon. To the right side we go. There we go, up into P16. It's time to start moving forward. Next up, Nico Hülkenberg there in that 15th position. It's going to take us a few moments to get to him, but he's actually going to make a move on the Alpine of Gasly, who shuts the door though. The Frenchman will stay in front of the German. Now as a Canadian here in P16 wants to join the party, and as we come to the end of lap 5, we're seeing the typical train effect from this AI as we continue to close in on the back of Hülkenberg. We'll swing to the left side, and now down this front straightaway, we're going to clear him for a position. Up into P15 we go as Gasly is next up in line for that 14th spot, and you can see the track map. There's 2 trains happening, so you got the front train, and then you got Albon and Fernando Alonso actually scrapping it out by themselves, and then you got the train of the other half of the grid, which we find ourselves in now, looking for an overtake on the Frenchman. Here we go around the outside up into P14. We are on the move early on. Here's some battles happening in front of us. Bottas side by side with Stroll as I'm right to the back of Oscar Piastri. Sainz and Piastri, not good starting positions, and unfortunately for them, they really can't go anywhere because of this train effect. Now, I've been thinking a lot about this train effect situation, and I've really made a decision that if they can't get this fixed within a reasonable amount of time, I'm going to bring it to you guys, the community, and make a decision on if we go back to F1 23 or not, and basically do like season 2 of this career mode from that point on. We'll have to wait and see what happens, of course. Now, as we do know, there is patches coming imminently here. Now, as you can see, Sergio Perez going through on Max Verstappen there, so he will take the lead of this Grand Prix, but I don't think it's over yet between those two now, because we're just going to see that back and forth kind of DRS situation. And at the end of lap 13 coming to 14 now, here goes Max Verstappen. He's going to go back past. Verstappen has been so dominant this season. He's very close to 60 career wins now in Formula 1, and I think he's going to do it here within the next handful of episodes. Now, our pit window, sorry, was not open 13 coming to 14. It's 14 coming to 15 that our pit window opened. So we will be pitting at the conclusion of this lap, as we've just been kind of stuck here behind Oscar Piastri. Verstappen, Leclerc, they're all coming in, as well as it appears Lewis Hamilton into the pits there. So Verstappen with a solid pit stop. There comes Fernando Alonso as well, and he is going to come in and get those mediums off, throw those hard compound tires on, and then I'm going to find myself in the pit lane as well, and we'll be doing the exact same thing. Take these mediums off, get those hard compound tires on, and we will continue on with our race. Now, Esteban Ocon, he actually pitted a lap ago, so he is going to be making some headway here. I'm curious to see where he's going to be coming out now. Bottas exits in front of us. There's Esteban Ocon right there in the Alpine. He's going to be right on us into turn 1. Not quite close enough, though, to make a move, so we'll be able to stay ahead and comfortably ahead now and focus in on Valtteri now in that Sauber kick machine as we continue on. Perez a lap later coming into the pits with George Russell, our teammate of Alex Albon, Zhou Guan Yu, Lance Stroll, Sainz, Piastri, Hülkenberg, Ricciardo. All those guys in the top 9 are going to be pitting. Look at the train of cars coming into the pit lane right here as Max Verstappen will cycle back out to the lead, and Leclerc going to follow through and get into second. So Perez drops to P3, Hamilton to 4th over George Russell, Norris in P6, Albon in P7, actually P8, as Alonso would get in front of him here now as I make a pass on Valtteri, and we are up into P9 because of just pitting 1 lap earlier. We were able to leapfrog that whole train of cars that we were behind. So we focus in now in fighting for points finally again, as I was a little bit concerned it was going to be really difficult to move our way forward, but we do know there's 2 quick cars on the way at some point. Oscar Piastri's got speed, Carlos Sainz has speed, and now he's kind of breaking out free from the group of cars behind us, but now we can't break away from Valtteri Bottas, so he's able to get back in front of me there in P9. So back down to P10 we go, but now we are engaged in this back and forth with Valtteri here, and you're going to see we breeze past him with the DRS as well. Sainz sets the quickest lap. He's just behind Esteban Ocon back there now, as the gap to Alex Albon is decreasing. We are reeling him in. He is 7 seconds in front. Sainz moves through into P11, so myself and Valtteri Bottas here are going to be the next up targets for the Spaniard now. So we are still going to be at risk of losing a point here today now, as we come through to lap 19 through this back straightaway chicane here now, and you can see on the track map again as usual through the green flag pit cycle, Verstappen is always able to find a way to break out of the DRS and run away from that point on, and then second place and third, they just battle for the rest of the race. So therefore Verstappen just has a free win at that point now, as Bottas is able to clear me into turn number 1. Sainz in the 11th spot is closing, but here we are lap 21, passing Bottas back, and now Sainz, he's got DRS as well. Valtteri's going to be at risk right here into turn number 1. Sainz shows the nose, he gets alongside Valtteri Bottas into turn 1. He's going to get the job done into P10 as we continue. P9 having a bit of a moment there off track, slipping and sliding. We save it, what a save, and we continue forward now, but Sainz is going to be able to run us down by the end of this lap, and at the end of lap 22 I should say. We would hold him off for an additional lap, but he is certainly going to be able to pass me as we approach lap 23, 24 kind of area now, as we come towards the end of lap 22, and he's already in my proximity radar, so he's going to pass us in through the grid, which we're going to go through the grid right now with 10 laps to go.
Same song, different verse. Max Verstappen leads the way by 4 seconds over Charles Leclerc, who continues in a back and forth battle with Sergio Perez.
As you mentioned it, there goes Perez through into second. These two will continue this for the rest of the race. The pair of Mercedes run in 4th and 5th, just behind, ready to pounce on any opportunity thrown at them.
And Lando Norris in 6th there at the end of the first of 2 trains here. Alonso is on an island of his own in 7th, followed by Alex Albon, who had a great run in Miami.
A tremendous run it was. He should be pretty safe for the rest of the race, but Carlos Sainz has just gotten past Owen for 9th, so we'll see if Owen can stick with him. He had to use up some extra tyre and battery to get through several cars there.
Oscar Piastri's struggles continue once more as he runs in 12th. He's engaged in a battle with Lance Stroll. You have to wonder what his future holds if he continues to struggle throughout the season.
He certainly needs to pick up the pace, Crofty. Just start at least running top 10 consistently. They know they aren't winner yet, so just aim for top 10s.
So then Nico Hulkenberg at the back of the grid behind the V-Carb now, as Carlos Sainz did get past me in that through the grid segment. He just simply drove past me on the front straightaway, but you see the gap to Alex Albon is continuing to decrease with less than 10 laps to go. Can we get to our Williams teammate and find a way to finally beat him again? That's the big question here now, as we are just continuing to follow Carlos Sainz, and I think Carlos Sainz has used up his equipment a little bit, used up his tires, because he is not able to drive away from me. And in fact, we're sticking right with him and putting some pressure on him, as that gap to Albon is now under 6 seconds.
Okay, he's used his stuff up. Get him back.
In no world should a Ferrari be at risk of getting dominated by a Williams, but it's happening. We breeze past Carlos Sainz. His future still uncertain in Formula 1, not only in real life, but here in the game as well, as Hamilton is set to take over his spot next season. Where will Carlos Sainz go? That's the big question now, as Perez runs second right now over Charles Leclerc. Then you got the pair of Mercedes of Hamilton, Russell, and then Lando Norris as well. But this back and forth battle is not over. Lap 28 of 32, Sainz breezes back past, puts us back down to P10. Piastri has not been able to go further than Lance Stroll. He's been having a back and forth battle with the Canadian there in P12 and 13, so those two can't get away from each other, therefore costing each other time, making it good for myself, as we know we don't have to worry about them. It's just Valtteri Bottas and Sainz that we're focused on beating here today in Imola, and I think if we can time this right, we can absolutely beat Carlos Sainz. At lap 29, look at the gap to Alex Albon. Now 4 seconds between himself and I. We are continuing to close. He's struggling with pace a little bit. It does help that us group of cars right here, this 3-car group, we all have DRS, so we're kind of using each other a little bit and helping each other, and that's giving us better pace now. Perez had gotten passed again by Leclerc, but now he's going to pass him back again with 3 laps to go. But hold on, here comes George Russell up the inside of Leclerc into turn number 1, side by side, wheel to wheel as they come through. The left-hander, Russell gets through. Leclerc drops to P4 off the podium in front of Lewis Hamilton now. So Russell says thank you very much as Max Verstappen is far in control. Now 3 laps to go for myself, and here we go again, passing Carlos Sainz. Is that going to be the last overtaker? Is he going to get us back one more time, and then that will allow me to set him up for a pass coming to the final lap? I think this could work in our favor. The gap to Albon now under 3 seconds area, now about 3 seconds flat actually, now as Sainz continues to stalk us here, following our rear wing as we slip and slide there on the exit of the right-hander. But here we go, 2 laps to go. Sainz going to breeze through again, and this is perfect for us because I think we can set him up on that front straightaway on the final lap, depending of course on how much battery he is going to have to use starting that final lap here now. But it's all about just following him on this penultimate lap, just setting him up for the white flag that is now in the air. Verstappen is long gone down the road as Russell, Perez, and Leclerc continue to battle. Here we go to the right side of Sainz, a bit of an unexpected move on him there. We breeze past into P9 again, and that should seal the deal for P9 at least. But the gap to Albon, less than 2 seconds now. We are rapidly closing in on our teammate. What could have been a nice step in the right direction in terms of confidence. We know we have the pace to be there with our teammate again for the first time in a few episodes, but a little bit disappointing because there's not enough time to actually run him down. George Russell had gotten past Sergio Perez as well on the final moments of this race, so he's going to be P2 as Max Verstappen again is going to come through to get one step closer to 60 career wins with a win in Imola.
Let's go, guys. Great day, great work from everyone. Thank you.
Great race. Thank you, Max. One more win for number 60.
It will be George Russell P2, Sergio Perez P3 to round off the podium as we come around these final turns ourselves. P9 is what it's going to be for us. We were reeling in Albon within DRS as we come to the front straightaway. Not quite enough, but we certainly showed the pace today that we needed. A nice comeback drive in Imola.
All right, mate, that's P9, 2 points and a great drive.
Yeah, that was a good one. Thank you guys for the hard work this weekend. We clearly got back to where we needed to be, so just another lap. I think we could have got him. Thank you.
Great drive today, Gary. Let's keep this momentum into Monaco.
It's a performance that our Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix winners can be justifiably proud of. And I'm sure there'll be celebrations tonight.
So Max Verstappen, of course, continues to extend his championship lead as he hops out of his Red Bull and celebrates a victory. Perez there in P3 and George Russell P2. That Mercedes definitely way stronger than it should be in this game we have seen, and I think the McLaren's way weaker than it should be. Honestly, I think the McLaren and the Mercedes should be swapped when it comes to the R&D in the current state of F124. I think that would be kind of fair because Mercedes is often going for podiums while McLaren isn't, and it's certainly the other way around IRL right now. So, and I don't know, Codemasters maybe hasn't watched Formula 1 this year, maybe. I don't know. Maybe that's a good excuse for them because clearly if they have watched Formula 1, they've been watching a total different season. They got the Red Bull dominance right. However, Max Verstappen cannot be stumped right now as he is on path already early on to go seek that 4th consecutive championship and do something that hasn't been done by a Red Bull driver since, of course, Sebastian Vettel did it for the team many years ago. At this point now, as you see the rest of the finishing order, Zhou Guanyu down in P18, a rough end for him, actually his worst effort of the year. Ricardo Hulkenberg all down there as well. We'll take a look at the standings here before we end this episode going into Monaco. Max is 36 points ahead of Leclerc, 54 ahead of Perez, 63 on Sainz as he continues to run away, and Albon 15 points to my 10, which of course gives the team 25 points overall in the constructors. And we take a look at the constructors there, Red Bull out in front by 45 over Ferrari, and we are P6 there, ways behind Aston Martin, and 11 points ahead of Sauber, and then Alpine, Haas, and Visa Cash App RB. No points for those 3 teams. I'll see you guys in the next one, Monaco Grand Prix, the crown jewel of Formula 1. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.